A lot of people at GCSE at our school did get A stars, and then they assumed that obviously you would, because you got an A star, that you are very proficient in Latin, you'd be able to take it for A level. But A level is a lot harder than GCSE, and I think a lot of people in my class they struggled when they jumped, and I saw that quite a lot.
We went a lot faster, especially in the more content-heavy subjects. So once they throw some spec point at you, they won't go back over it. And it was very fast because we'd had to finish everything in such a short time span. It was a lot faster than GCSE. GCSE you might have maybe 2 weeks to cover a whole topic, and in A level you might only have 2 double periods to cover a whole topic, and then after that it's kind of up to you to refresh your knowledge.
It's not the same. Just because you've attained exceptional grades at A level at GCSEs, that doesn't mean you can slack at A levels. You still have to this time around it means real discipline, because when you get to A levels, as harsh as it sounds, you're not going to be spoon-fed. You have to be real with yourself. You have to become independent, and these are the things which you have to be told from the start. Otherwise, if you just keep on slacking, then it's something which will bite back at you in the future. So the best thing that I would say at the very start is try and discipline yourself in small bits so that it increases later on, so that you're able to actually not become overwhelmed by everything.
Between GCSEs and A levels, you do start to become a lot more individual in your learning, so you have to be independent and you have to motivate yourself, because the teachers will push you to revise, but if you go home and decide you don't want to, no one's gonna say anything about it. So you do take learning into your own hands.
I found it to be a very pleasant jump. I really enjoyed starting year 12, because I felt that during GCSEs, for me, it wasn't a great process. I never felt intellectually stimulated by my GCSE subjects, even the humanities ones. So my first lessons in year 12, being asked what I thought about things, being told to write an essay on what my opinion on whether God existed or not was, I think that made me really excited about A levels in general. So year 12 for me was a really great experience.
You're never going to look at it again, and that's a massive block of your A levels, so you need to learn it in the first term. So don't take the beginning of year 12 as a joke, or think it's fun to make friends or mess around in class, because everything you're learning at that time you're not going to revisit again. Start notes early, because you don't go over content again. So you visit something first term year 12, you won't look at it again at all unless it's the odd revision testing that you have closer to your exams.
Just not being able to do questions, that really throws you off. So identifying your weaknesses and just going for them, and being able to do that as early as you can. If you don't understand the topic, don't circle it and move on. Circle it, and at the first opportunity you get, go ask your teacher to explain it to you. Go find a different way to explain it. Because I found some topics I didn't understand. It was because the wording of the textbook was very vague, or because it was very hard to understand that language. So then I moved to YouTube videos, and I found a YouTube channel who explained all these really hard topics to me in such a simple way. And then if I didn't understand that, I could search a different YouTube channel. Like I was saying, there are so many different resources.
If you're struggling with writing an essay, then you need to get it ironed out in year 12, because it's just going to keep getting harder the more content you learn. But I think the biggest gap was just actually knowing what you're good at in your subject and what you're not good at, and ironing that out in the first year where you still have time.
Compared to GCSE just, I would say not just, but remembering and then write it down on paper. A levels is completely different, isn't it? You have to completely understand it and then apply it to a real life situation. So I do feel like you need to go and do your research.
If you've got, in GCSE, you do get given a lot of sheets, it's a lot of memory, it's a lot of, this is what you need to know it. While at A level, it's the subjects you've chosen, it's the subjects you want to specialise in, and you should take what you're given in lessons and do your own research and go and expand on that.
I think with disciplining is that you really plan, okay, this is what I want to do on this day, this is what I want to do on this day, creating more flashcards. Not that I didn't do flashcards at GCSEs, but trying to create more notes and trying to make it smaller and smaller, and really understanding everything to the roots of it.
whereas I didn't make loads at GCSE A-levels, I was a very big fan of posters. So I got a lot of blue tack, I got a lot of A3 paper, and I wrote things out in big and stuck them all over my room, all over my mirrors, all over my cupboard, so that wherever I look, I'm picking things up. And I did that especially for the things that I found most difficult, because firstly, making a poster and always looking at it means that even if you don't feel like picking up a book or doing a past paper or picking up a pen, you can at least somewhat more relaxed look at the walls and take in some information. As well as that, try and find out how you best revise. So I found sometimes I was like topics I was happy to read, I was really good at reading, and like I found I could learn a lot from reading it. But then other topics, I needed a video, I needed audio, and that is how I understood those. So I think learning which subjects and which like topics you can learn in different ways. Some topics you learn better through questions, some topics you do just need to drill the content, some topics it may help you to watch videos. And I think another thing that people aren't always going to try is recording themselves just talking about it, because if you record yourself out loud and then listen back to it, that's another way for you to passively just take that information in rather than listening to your playlist. Just listen to, say, like, I don't know, wrote organic chemistry on your way to school, and in that way you are just finding different ways to drill that information into your head.
A lot of it, like especially like I would say in the science subjects, they're really difficult to understand, and certain people understand things easier than others, and if you need to take it as if you don't understand something, you need to do it yourself, and you need to go to the teacher and say, look, I don't understand that. While in GCSE, you know, it's not, I wouldn't say it was that difficult, everyone kind of understood it, and you know, while A-level, different people get different things from A-level, and you need to make sure that you cover the whole subject, and you need to make sure that you understand all of it, and that takes like independent learning to do that.
100%, yeah.